All right, everybody, welcome back to the Power Comics YouTube channel. I am Evan Husney, and today we're going to be talking about comic book conservation and also a goddamn wizard who brought my comic back from the dead. Whoa! And at the end of the video, we're going to be announcing the winner for the John Tar Returns #1 9.4 White Pages CGC giveaway. So stay tuned to the end of the video. We're going to do the live drawing for that right after this. All right, everybody. So today we are talking about Golden Age comics. Of course, comics from the late 30s to about the mid 50s. That range of comics I've been really obsessed with the last year and a half or so, maybe more now, in terms of collecting and obsessing over. It's been crazy. Many of you have noticed that here on the channel. But predominantly what we're talking about is a book that I purchased about 5 months ago now. It's a very rare book. It's very tough to come by, but it's kind of one of those things where you just pick up any copy you see. If you really want it, beggars can't be choosers because it's super, super rare. So I picked up this copy of the book. It looked a little rough, to say the least. And I actually found a path in order to get some work done on it and make it look absolutely fucking mind-blowingly gorgeous. And we're going to look at that today. But I first want to kind of get into the process of how all of that came to be. So there is a guy out there who we're going to get into. His name is Kenny Sanderson, and he's a fucking wizard. And he brought this book back to life, man. And it's truly, truly incredible. So I want to walk you through all that. But first, let's take a step back and just sort of talk about how I got into this book and what it is and what the deal with it is. So, as you know, over the course of the last year, I've been really getting into these Golden Age books, and I had discovered the comics of this publisher named MLJ Magazines, MLJ Publications, and they put out a bunch of different lines in the early 40s that are absolutely insane because their cover arts are totally out of control, insane. And it really took my breath away when I discovered MLJ. And so they're most known for Archie, okay? So Archie, who we all know today, debuted in Pep Comics #22. That's when Archie debuted and obviously became their biggest success. But before Archie and around the same time as Archie, when he first came out, MLJ was really into doing the World War II thing. And so they were creating a lot of these, what they call sort of propaganda covers, warning children and Americans of what was going on over in Europe and what could happen here, here in the U.S. And so they created a lot of these, superheroes, these very patriotic superheroes to fight against these, Nazi villains. For me, just that aesthetic, when you're looking at the aesthetic of MLJ and a lot of their contemporaries, is like you're seeing a lot of these, very childlike imagination and candy colors and, very cartoony imagery going into, these really crazy, violent, out of control imagery. And it's insane. And a couple of quick examples, just so you know what I'm talking about, is one that comes to mind is like, for example, Pep Comics 34, depicts the MLJ heroes. You see the shield, and then you see, of course, the hangman, and then you see this crazy like Nazi soldier with like a lizard mouth and tongue, and he's like, has a gas syringe that he's like spraying on this poor woman, and there's a skull in the corner, and you're just like, holy shit, this is fucking intense. Or you'll even see a truly historic cover, Pep Comics #20, which is coming out in 1941 and is sort of echoing the Holocaust on its cover. I mean, you have these shackled hands reaching through the flames, sort of evoking the concentration camps. It's just absolutely insane that this is on comics for children. The other MLJ kind of superstar is the hero Steel Sterling, who appeared in Zip Comics. And you just got to love these very generic kind of bootleggy names, but Zip Comics. And sometimes you take a look at the interior panels. I think Zip Comics #30, which I do have, I'll flash to it right now, has an insane opening splash page of like a spider Hitler okay, that's being choked out by this other superhero called the Web. But in the background, people are getting hanged and beheaded. Fuck, there's people like in Czechoslovakia getting gunned down. So it's just crazy. So for me, it's like, I just got really into the contrast of like these comics for kids that are extremely violent and depicting war. And of course, there's the extra added historical weight to all of this because of what's going on in the world at that time. So that just, adds a whole nother layer to it for me. So anyway, now cutting to the chase, the book that I actually saw and wanted, of course, was one that was exorbitantly super expensive and was really hard for me to get. So I finally was able to find a copy that I could pick up because it was so tattered and low grade. Okay. So let's get to that. What is the book that I'm talking about? Of course, well, I'm talking about this one. Let's take a look. Zip Comics. There he is. Number 22. Okay. And this is again deemed a classic cover by most Golden Age collectors. And this is the very copy that I was able to pick up. Okay. Let's take a look at the art first, and then I'll walk you through the grade and everything and the condition. But first, here on the cover, you just see, love the color scheme here. And I just love, you have Steel Sterling. Here he is, this very generic looking superhero. This very handsome man for the time, flying around through this V for victory, zipping right through that V for victory and choking out this skeleton zombie soldier. And of course, this is all over the skyline of New York City that's in flames. It's just amazing. And then here you have this crazy sickle with blood on the end of it, and the skeleton hand, and of course the swastika. Just absolutely, just for my money, an incredible cover art drawn by Irv Novick. So now let's look at the actual condition of the book. As you can see, it is a 0.5 grade, which is pretty much the lowest grade you can get as a grade for a book. And the main reason that it's a 0.5 or 0.5 is because it is incomplete. And we can look at the label here. The centerfold is missing. 2/3 of page 13 is missing, and that affects the story, of course, and the cover is attached. And so anything that is incomplete is going to get that 0.5 grade. But you can see, look, classic cover. See, like I said, but so that's basically what kept this book pretty affordable. And I'm going to use affordable in air quotes as well too, for this, because obviously all the Golden Age books, man, if the barrier to entry, isn't the price, then it's the scarcity, or both, and a lot of these books, TGC keeps a census of how many, comics over their, 15 plus 20 year, whatever history they've been around grading comics, how many they've ever encountered. And just to give you an idea of the rarity of this, there is only been 19 copies of this book ever graded since CGC started. And kind of a loose rule of thumb is you double those numbers to account for how many, ungraded copies there are in the world. So under 40 copies of this book, you could sort of say, are known to exist. And that is rare. That is very rare. So when you're talking about getting these books, it's really a fact of scarcity and price. And this fell into my lap as an opportunity to get this, entry-level copy, incomplete. And I was like, I definitely jumped on it because I love this cover. But you can obviously see that it has a lot of issues. It's got, the missing pages. The cover has a lot of ripples going on here. The spine is completely rolled over. You can see there's tears here where the staples were, on the book, and the spine is just like completely flipped over from the back of the book onto the front of the book. So it definitely, looked rough, looked good. I mean, the colors on it look great. And that's what really drew me to it, is the fact that the colors presented so strong, but the fact that, the book needed a lot of work. And so basically I got this book, being like, all right, I got a copy. It's under lock and key. I have one. I've always wanted one. And if I find a better one, I'll get that one and I'll sell this one or whatever. I just wanted to have a copy. So I sprang for the 0.5 copy. But then a friend of mine sort of turned me on to the idea of, well, maybe, you could improve this copy. And I was like, what does that mean? And it was sort of this pipe dream of like, if I could find the missing pages of this book somewhere and sort of Frankenstein it together and then, do some, work to enhance the presentation of the book, like, get it pressed, get those wrinkles out, fix the spine. It could look pretty great and then present with a full grade, and it could look awesome. But I had no idea how to do that. And he turned me on to this guy named Kenny Sanderson. Okay. And I'm going to flash to his social media page here. Kenny Sanderson is the wizard we're going to be talking about tonight. He runs Sanderson Studios out of Indiana. He does conservation work, restoration work, professional grade restoration work on comics. And if you look at his page and look at some of his work, just scroll through it. It's amazing the stuff this guy's done to some incredible, valuable, and insane comics. It's just amazing stuff. So anyway, I got this idea, like, well, maybe he could work on it, but I got to find these freaking missing pages. And when you're talking about a book where there's only, under 40 copies of in the world, like, how the hell are you going to find the missing pages? Well, I fucking found the missing pages. Okay. And let's talk about that. So, I was lucky enough on eBay to find a coverless copy of Zip Comics 22 that I purchased for a very cheap, affordable price. And I got them in, and I'm going to show them to you right now. I was a little worried about them, though. So check this out, okay? So here's the pages. Now, you're noticing here that first page there is looks brittle and trashed. And this is what came back when I got it off eBay. This is a coverless copy of the inside of Zip 22. And I was like, oh shit, this looks pretty bad. But as I kept flipping, I noticed that they weren't all detached, and the page quality was actually getting better. These pages were actually starting to look more, less brittle, more firm. And so I found this and was like, oh shit, here's the missing fucking pages that I need for my copy. So I contacted Kenny and said, basically, I'm going to send you my 0.5 copy. Let's crack it out of the slab. Here's the extra pages that I have. I fucking found it. Let's marry these together. And then we both decided that the best thing to do for the value of the book and the preservation of the book was to make it look as best it can using conservation methods. So that's what we did. I'm going to walk you through that. Dickie in the Magic Forest happens to be one of the amazing stories in this. So here is the book cracked out of the slab here. You could see, again, just another angle of just like how this spine is curling upwards here, and the different tears and the ripples and the dirt. I mean, you're seeing all this kind of dirt and grime also in the masthead and everything. And so this is what it was looking like before. Again, another close up here and to the grades and everything. And a couple more before pictures. Here's another shot of it before. Look at the back. Now here's the back. You hadn't seen the back yet. Now you can see this really shows how the spine is curled, because you can see here how these pages fan out here. That's all supposed to be straight, and you can really see how the spine is rolled up, and there's obviously a piece missing down here. There's just all sorts of tears along the book here, and it's obviously very, very, very dirty as well too, just the dirt and grime on the pages. So now before I reveal the work that Kenny did, let me talk a little bit about the process, because he posted about it on Instagram. He basically said, since this copy was previously a 0.5 incomplete, cover detached, and missing multiple wraps, I was given the green light to conserve it. Okay. The usual suspects on the punch list of work done. Okay. So a dry clean to the cover, which basically means use like archival paper, like they have like special erasers and different gimmicks for like old archival paper, so you can kind of get the dirt off. It's these very fine, almost sand-like eraser bits that kind of work on fragile paper to erase dirt. So he did a dry cleaning. He put it in an aqueous bath. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce aqueous bath to the cover, which again soaks it and preps it for what he's going to be doing next, which is leaf casting to the cover. Since the cover was already detached, he was able to do some leaf casting work. And the leaf casting work is a really interesting process, because leaf casting is basically trying to integrate pulp paper back, new pulp paper into old pulp paper to fix in all of the, hopefully I'm describing that right, but it basically works to fill in the gaps and the holes in pulp paper, essentially. And so he was going to, basically fill in any of the pieces that were missing on the cover with leaf casting work. So that's also really meticulous and amazing. And then he was going to remove that spine roll. That's what I was showing you, that curved spine. And that is done, of course, with using these kind of like heavyweight presses that basically press the book back into its original shape. And then, of course, seal some of the tears on the spine. He was going to do that. And, of course, marry the pages that I found from the coverless copy that I bought on eBay with the missing ones from the copy that was in my 0.5. So that's everything that he did. Now let's take a look at the work that he did. Okay. Insane. All right. So let's take a look at the after picture. So remember, these are the befores from the front and back. That's the before. Now let's look at the after. Wow. Boom. So instantaneously, you can see that the spine here is completely flat. There's no roll up at all. The cover has been cleaned. The masthead is not caked in dirt as it was before, that you can see, here. Again, more dirt taken out of this area. And then the leaf casting work you can really see on the edge where any sort of paper loss was, before, now has just some leaf casting work there. That sort of just reinforces the actual structure of the book. And you can see a little bit of it up here as well too. Now remember, here was the back. Now let's look at the new back. And that's just a crazy difference. So here you're seeing these tears have been sealed here. And then you're seeing a little bit of that leaf casting work done to this missing piece that was out before. You can see how flat that spine is and how much dirt also came off of this back too. Like incredible, how white and bright that is. And now here, these pictures, you can really see it. So take a look at this. This was what the spine looked like. Crunched all like that. Just totally rolled and crunched. And then after being put in the press, flat. That's just insane. The difference of that is just absolutely freaking insane and reveals so much more of the artwork underneath there too. Again, let's take a look at from the top. You can see here's what it looked like before. And then there's the after with the press and the leaf casting work. Absolutely amazing. Here's the cover before the Aquis bath, before he was going to do the leaf casting work, fixing these tears here to the cover in the interior spine. So here's the before, and there's the after. Unreal. Look at that. It's like brand new. Yeah. Just amazing, amazing work. Yeah. Wow. All right. So now he sent me those photos. He posted them on his Instagram page. I was obviously fucking floored, and the rest of the community was too. He really just was like, man, Kenny is the best. I can't even believe he was able to do this. The book looks amazing now. It's incredible, and what was left to get it re-graded. And so we weren't sure what grade it was going to get at the end of the day. We were hopeful. Obviously, we wanted to get more than a 2.5 or a 3 or something like that, but we were absolutely freaking blown away with what the grade was. And I mean, dude, check it out. So here it is, and I'm going to punch in on it so you can see it better than probably the glare that'll be on my screen. But here it is. I just got it back today. Here is the Zip 22. Look at how colorful and bright and vibrant this is. And of course, it got the 4.5. And then this, of course, this gray stripe up here delineates the conservation work. So this is a 4.5 conserved copy of Zip 22, and it looks just absolutely fucking phenomenal. It's from January 1942. We didn't mention that earlier. That's when this book came out. And the conservation includes, it says, leaf casting to cover, tear seals to cover and interior reinforced, 13th wrap and centerfold married, which of course is what we found from the other donor copy. We have a 4.5 conserved off-white pages, beautiful copy of Zip 22. So, and you can see that, and it just presents so unbelievably well. And I just couldn't be more happy with this. So I just kind of want to use this as like a PSA to say, hey, Kenny Sanderson of Sanderson Studios is really just, it's worth every penny. He's an absolute god, wizard of this shit. And anybody who's looking to do sort of, professional grade conservation on any of their Golden Age books, or high, sort of high value Silver Age books, I definitely can't recommend his services enough. And he just did a bang up job, and I'm so happy with this book now that this is in my collection. It's not going anywhere, so it's going to stay here, and it's just amazing. So can't say enough good about that. So thank you so much, Kenny, for all the work you did, and I just wanted to spotlight it here on the channel because it's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So, all right, well, without further ado, let's get into the John Tar Returns giveaway. I know everybody's clamoring to find out who the winner of this unbelievable John Tar Returns #1 9.4 white pages graded copy of Tom Tarpey's and Bill Miller's masterpiece, John Tar Returns #1. So this is how this is going to work, y'all. I'm going to get this fired up here. I have all the names loaded in who commented on our previous video with hashtag John Tar Returns. I put everybody in an Excel sheet. So let's take a look at that. Here it is. We got everybody here. And then the way that we're going to run this is I'm going to open a Google page here, and we're going to do a random number. Okay, so between 1 and 77, because we had 77 comments from everybody on that video, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you, by the way, for that. So when I hit enter on here, it's going to show me a random number. We're going to look at the Excel sheet at which line the person is, and then they'll be the winner. So here we go. All right, 48. 48 is the winner. That is Chris B. All right, Chris B is the winner of the John Tar Returns. But congratulations to Chris B on winning the John Tar Returns #1 9.4. As soon as we get in touch with you, man, I will ship this out to you. So enjoy. John Tar Returns. Thanks everybody for submitting entry into the video. Super, super awesome. Appreciate all of you. And thank you again to Kenny and Kenny Sanderson. Everybody, make sure to give Sanderson Studios a follow on Instagram. Check out the other work that he does. Just support him. He's really just, I can't put him over enough as just an incredible talent in this. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So, all right, everybody, hope you enjoyed the video. And, of course, we're going to come back soon with Gabe, and we're going to do another edition of the live Power Comics book club. Get back to the Power Comics. We've been doing a lot of Golden Age. Let's get back to the Power, and we're going to get into that very shortly here. So thanks for hanging in. All right, everybody, take care. Talk soon. Bye.